and Burg.
I can talk for hours on it. Let's go.
Yeah, we're 50 minutes in, and we haven't even hit the game preview.
My
so
fucking god!
So let's move on to the New York Giants taking on the Washington football team on Sunday Night Football. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have all heard by now. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be out for multiple weeks, maybe the whole year, depending on how bad his hip injury is. We'll get more information on that. So in his absence, one of Puma's favorite players, Taylor Heineke, is going to be starting. And I'm sure Puma is going to be watching with some pants tent action, as Burg would say on Thursday night. So Puma, let's turn it over to you. Let's get your thoughts on this game.
Yep. So, I mean, this is Jay. I mean, you were talking about this is a key division matchup, like, you know, for the Jets and the Pats. Like, this is a key division matchup for the Giants and the Washington football team. Like, this division is so weak. Like, you cannot go 0-2 in your own division. The New York Giants are coming off of a 27-13 loss. I mean, really, like, the Denver Broncos just dominated the New York Giants, in my opinion, from what I saw. Saquon Barkley, I didn't think he was going to do a whole lot against the Denver Broncos just because of the short turnaround on Thursday Night Football. It'll be interesting to see if they let Saquon run loose. But again, it doesn't really matter if the offensive line for the Giants are not going to be opening up holes. I shared the stat with you guys offline, but Saquon, for the 10 touches that he had, he was the most inefficient runner in all of the National Football League of Week 1. He ran more east-west than he did north-south. That's because of how bad the offensive line was. Daniel Jones, the fumble problems continue. I think he's got, 31 fumbles in 28 starts. So that is a massive problem for a Washington defense that is in a prime bounce back spot. And they laid an egg against the Chargers. Chase Young had his ass handed to him by Rashawn Slater, that rookie out of, I believe it's Northwestern. It got so bad against the Chargers on Sunday that they had to move Chase Young on the other side of the offensive line so they could get more pressure, because Justin Herbert was 14-19 on third down conversions. The Washington football team could not get off of the goddamn field. But this is a prime bounce back spot. Antonio Gibson needs to hold on to the football. Like I said, Ron Rivera, the running back coaches, they need to emphasize ball security. And you know what? You can say that all you want, Burge, but there's a rumor that has gone around for decades that Tiki Barber's fumbles were so bad that Tom Coughlin may or may not have duct taped the football to Tiki Barber to teach ball control. This is they're grown ass adults, they're professionals, I understand that, but when you're putting the ball on the ground, costing the team a victory, you need to emphasize that shit, and they need to do that with Antonio Gibson. The spread in this game, last I looked, was Washington -3. The over-under is 40.5. I like Washington covering here. I think they're going to roll against the New York Giants. This is going to be a key bounce-back spots. I like the under in this game. But give me Washington winning. Give me Washington covering the game. Let's go. Heineke! Yeah.
Is there any news on if Evan Ingram's going to be able to play? Because I think last I checked, he remained sidelined for today's walkthrough practice session, right?
Right. He was still sidelined with what's a calf injury. The turnaround this week is so short that they really don't have full practice reports. It's just estimated. If they had a practice, I think he would have missed today. Honestly, I'm not expecting Evan Ingram to play. If he is at all, it's going to be a decoy, and decoy is air quotes because he doesn't do a whole lot when the game's on the line. He just balls out in practice.
Yeah.
No, I'm Puma. I'm with you on this. I like Washington here to cover and win pretty handily. I think we're starting to see the obituary on Danny Pennies. I moved my nickname Danny Pennies to the New York Giants. One of my good buddies is a big Giants fan, and he's already at the point where he is throwing in the towel on this year with Danny Jones and the New York Giants. It's just
you got to, man.
It very well could see David Gettleman fired at some point during the season if this doesn't get corrected. Puma, I'm with you on Taylor Heineke. I love what he brings. I mean, he was pretty good when he came into the game.
That ball.
11 of 15 for 122. I like that. This is his chance to kind of solidify his position as a starting NFL quarterback in the league. and it's perfect. It's kind of similar to the Patriots and in the Jets here. It's kind of the perfect get right game for the Washington football team. I mean, Chase Young and that defensive line has a horrendous offensive line they're going up against this week. It's a perfect get right game for them. Give me the Washington football team here, to cover and all that. And just real quick, first of Parker's picks for the week, he decided to go for the yogurt treat on the Giants logo here. So he's going with the Giants in this game.
Okay, upset alert.
Upset alert. So we'll see what happens.
Listen, I was watching most of the games on Sunday, and I have a Sunday Direct TV now, so I was kind of like filling back and forth through a bunch of different teams and a bunch of different games, and I think I've got it down to 3 teams that I think are the worst in the NFL. After week 1, obviously, there's a lot that can happen, but the Jets, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the New York Giants were the absolute 3 worst teams I saw all Sunday long, man. And listen, Daniel Jones is not it, man. I was never a big fan of him coming out of college. The New York Giants eventually took him because of that Manning connection, which is absolutely ridiculous. You're going to take a franchise quarterback just because one of the Mannings said so. But his fumbling and his turnovers are just continuing. He fumbled late in the third quarter that all but sealed the fate for his team. And it's one of those things where I even think David Gettleman, like you said, Burg, is probably going to be gone in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Like, you might see a full-on, let's try to reset this whole thing. We'll keep Joe Judge for another couple of years, but, Danny Pennies and Gettleman might be out of the picture. On the Washington football side, man, I'm absolutely so stoked to watch Taylor Heineke on Thursday night. Like, I cannot watch anymore if it's tragic. Like, I don't understand how this guy keeps getting starts in the NFL. This is like his 14th team. He's played for like half of the league, and for some reason he's still starting. So I've always thought that Taylor Heineke had something to him. He has like that confidence. He has some heart. He has some balls. I do believe that they can essentially Taylor Heineke can lead them to a couple of wins. Now it is funny that Ron Rivera isn't calling Cam Newton to come in for a little workout. I mean, I would have for sure thought there was some sort of reports on that, but it looks like that's not going to happen either. And
Nope.
on the other side of it, for Washington, the defensive side, that front seven was absolutely getting mauled by the Chargers offensive line, and obviously the Chargers put quite a bit of resources and money behind retooling that offensive line for Justin Herbert. But Chase Young, Sweat, all those guys, they were basically invisible the whole night.
They had to move Young.
Yeah,
They had to move Young off a rookie.
dude, Slater's a real
Bro!
deal. So Slater actually did the same thing to him when Northwestern played Ohio State a couple of years back. I mean, Young was absolutely nowhere to be found that game as well. So Slater's the real deal. And if this continues where they can't get pressure on Danny Pennies, the Giants are going to end up winning this game, but I think it's going to be a different situation on Thursday night. I've got the Washington football team winning 21-17, man.
And real quick, before we move off this game, this might be a kind of coming out party for Jamin Davis. He was the Washington football team's first round pick this year. There was a lot of hype going in for Jamin Davis against the Chargers game. The linebacker position is thin already, but I think Jamin Davis, this is going to be a get-right game personally for himself as well too. So I'm keeping an eye out for Jamin Davis. I'm keeping an eye out for this whole team as in totality. But Jamin Davis, for sure, I'm going to be watching on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm
All
excited.
right, Buffalo, Miami.
My brother's a big Giants fan, so he's going to come over, and I'm just going to be poking him all night as well.
Oh, God. Fight night
Good
in
at
the
that.
Cheema
You're
house.
good at that.
Let's move on to the